Hi, I'm David Cogswell at Africa's Travel Indaba in Durban, South Africa, with Mr. Justin Barnett, Head of Marketing and Communications for North America for South African Tourism. And this is Insider Travel Report. So, Mr. Barnett, how are you today?
Hey, David, welcome back to South Africa. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an exciting show. How's it going from the perspective of the producers?
Well, look, we like to say that Durban is the warmest place to be, but I think that we can all agree this year Indaba is the hottest place to be. We've been out walking the show floor this morning. The Minister of Tourism is here doing a walkabout. The floor is buzzing. We're excited to have a totally sold out exhibitor floor this year. More than 1,100 products, experiences, operators, tourism boards exhibiting, and we've got delegates from all over the world who have converged on Durban to experience all the diverse and exciting tourism products that Southern Africa, and specifically our favorite place, South Africa, have to offer.
Fantastic, fantastic. So now we are a few years out of COVID, I think now, and COVID obviously set everybody way back. How's the recovery going from South Africa's point of view?
Ooh, there is excitement, there is energy out of North America for travel like never before. Out of the U.S., we're at about 95% recovery of the pre-pandemic numbers, and for our neighbors to the north, Canada, at about 83%. Both those markets are expected to fully recover within 2024, and that is why we have brought a big delegation from those two countries to Indaba this year. Between our hosted buyers and our hosted media, we've got 72 delegates out on this floor. Many of them are first-timers. Some are return visitors who cannot get enough of this country, and they are engaging with the operators and the experiences and the hidden gems so that they can really go back and help us continue to bring those numbers up.
Fantastic. So now South Africa knows that when people travel to South Africa once, they're very likely to come back again. And much of that is the people. And I think the people are so happy to see people come because tourism lifts all segments of the population. So let's talk a little bit about some of the experiences that are available to people who are expanding their travel horizons and coming to South Africa from America.
Fabulous. So our friends that are watching today in the travel trade would probably know us best for our wildlife and safari experiences, and we believe we do those better than anybody, especially in a luxury space. But there are also opportunities to experience our culture. So we should mention that this year we're celebrating 30 years of democracy, right? So it is a perfect time to come down and engage with the more recent sort of Mandela Long Walk to Freedom story. More than 27 different experiences that your clients can do across the country, whether we're talking about Robben Island just outside of Cape Town or the Nelson Mandela capture site just a short drive from where we are today, going to the Apartheid Museum or the Mandela House in Johannesburg. So those things are a good way to get a foundation of the more recent culture, and then of course the ancient history of South Africa. If we believe that there was a Garden of Eden, it very likely was in South Africa. That's why we are called the cradle of humankind. Also found just a short drive outside of Johannesburg. That's the place where we found the oldest hominid fossils in the world. And then of course we also deliver on adventure, whether we're talking about zip lining through the top of the trees or getting into a wetsuit and diving down with the great white sharks in the cages, or climbing, mountain climbing, rock climbing, hiking in the Drakensberg Mountains, or the beautiful new seven wonder of nature, Table Mountain. I mean, we've got all that. Then of course, you know, we are nestled right at the bottom of the continent between not one but two oceans. So there are miles and miles and miles of coastline for those people who want to get some sun and fun. And then of course, we cannot leave out our food and wine experiences. We are that melting pot of culture, so you're going to see all sorts of different food. I know we've been enjoying some incredible Indian-inspired curry on this side here in Durban. And then, the wine, of course. This year, another anniversary for us, we're celebrating 365 years of winemaking. South Africa is the only country in the world that can actually pinpoint when they started their wine industry. So yeah, we are considered by many people new world wine, but 365 sounds pretty old world to me.
Absolutely, yeah. Now, as the travel industry evolves, travelers evolve, we are seeing South Africa used to be considered it is a long haul destination, but it used to be considered out of reach to many people, and now more and more people are discovering that it is not out of reach. And what are some of the market segments, the special interests that are now catching on to South Africa that you're seeing coming to South Africa?
Okay. Well, I think one of the first things to mention that we just talked a little bit about is that adventure tourism offering. So the people who are really into, whether they're talking about backpacking or they're really into the safaris and tented camps, or they're looking to do self-catering so they can really get out and live in nature, get all those exciting hikes in. They can do the paddling and canoeing down the wild rivers and everything. We've got all that on offer. So adventure is big for South Africa, and it's all across different provinces, right? So you're going to find adventure experiences in the Eastern Cape, in the Western Cape, in the Northern Cape, the Northwest. So that really helps people who want to deep dive into that, explore different parts of the country that they may not have done on a typical first-time tour. And then we're seeing a lot of energy and enthusiasm out of LGBTQ travelers. Of course, as part of this 30 years of democracy, we are celebrating our position still as the first country in the world to enshrine LGBTQ rights in our Constitution, the fifth country in the world and the first outside of Europe to have same-sex marriage. So LGBTQ travelers experience an especially warm welcome. And also Black travelers are really finding South Africa to tick a lot of boxes on their must list, right? So that Cradle of Humankind story, where humanity began, seeing where people first emerged on the planet, is exciting. Then exploring our more than 11 different cultural groups. So learning more about what is the Zulu culture like in KwaZulu-Natal, or can I go to the Eastern Cape and see the Xhosas where Mandela was born and where all of these leaders came out of it. And then of course, music, fashion, art, all of that is breaking through. And when I think about what 30 years of democracy means in a tourism sphere, it's really about opportunity, right? So people having opportunities that previously they didn't. We see that in some of the hidden gems that we were talking about, right? Like entrepreneurs that are able to open small or even large businesses that cater to a very specific need that they weren't able to do before, growing those businesses, creating jobs, contributing to the GDP, really exciting and uplifting the country. We're talking about being able to get out and experience their own country. South Africans are traveling domestically more than ever, and they love to receive the foreign tourists. And you can get a lot of first-person experiences. People will tell you what their favorite nightlife experience is, where you must go for dinner in a certain place. So South Africans tend to be the most gracious, warm, and welcoming hosts. They have a fantastic sense of humor, so you're going to have a lot of laughs, and that will be the thing that you leave remembering the most, is that experience that you had getting to know the South African people.
Yes. And there is only one country that produced Nelson Mandela, and that is, he's an unparalleled leader in the 20th century. It's so inspiring to discover his story and see the story of South Africa and his place in that. It's one of the most inspiring countries in the world to visit, I believe, and I know many others believe. How are you seeing the future of of this evolution of this travel industry in South Africa going?
Well, thank you for everything you're saying about that, David. The inspiration is not lost on me and our entire team based in New York. And I think that at this time of year, when we get back together at Indaba, it's really about celebrating. It's really about acknowledging the achievements that we've had over the past year and really looking forward with optimism to what we can achieve together. There's an African philosophy, which I know you know well, called Ubuntu, right? Which means I am because you are. Sort of, we are all in this together. We are interconnected. And nothing could be truer as a testament to that than our tourism industry, right? So at this time of the year, we really want to acknowledge and celebrate our friends watching from home in the travel industry in the US and Canada, our travel agents, our tour operators, our wholesalers and consolidators, our airline partners, everybody who is helping keep South Africa in the conversation. We thank you for that. Please continue to do so. We have so much more to show you and to offer over the next few years. And to our friends and our partners here in South Africa, Africa in the industry. Those tour operators and DMCs, those experiences on the ground, those hoteliers, those operators and drivers, those young entrepreneurs who are hungry to showcase their passion and their humanity with the world. We see you and we thank you for joining us on this experience. We are all in it together, and the future looks bright for South African travel out of North America because we're going to stay in it together.
You are inspiring me. Thank you very much. Justin, I so appreciate your spending your time with me today and telling us about South Africa. And David Cogswell for Insider Travel Report. Thank you very much. Travel well. Travel safely.